JCPS Superintendent Brian Yearwood has reversed course on a proposal that would have bumped up school start times by 20 minutes for every school in the district. Thanks for being with us here at 5. I'm Connie Leonard.
And I'm Doug Proffitt. Parents having a little whiplash with this quick decision after backlash over the change over the weekend. Yearwood pulling his recommendation, and Board of Education will no longer vote on the proposal next month. Our Alexandra Goldberg has the details on why this big decision was pulled back.
Taylor Uselis and her 2 Bloom Elementary students were dreading a proposed 7:10 a.m. start time next school year. They worried about it for a weekend.
And I'm just so relieved because, again, I can't even explain the magnitude of frustration that was happening beforehand.
Monday afternoon, JCPS Superintendent Brian Yearwood changed his tune, withdrawing the proposal revealed first on Friday that school start times would be moved up by 20 minutes.
I've probably received 150 emails from parents since the announcement, and 98% of them were expressing deep concern for a 7:10 start time. And I think it's cool the district is listening.
JCPS board member Taylor Everett says Yearwood has alluded to the proposal, but the board found out along with the public Friday evening.
The reason this was pulled is because so many people reached out and had really, really good stories and data to prove why it wasn't the best idea.
Everett says the 9:40 a.m. start time for some schools needs to change, but not to the detriment of students who start in the 7 o'clock hour.
This was just one step too far, and I think we need to give the current schedule a little time to breathe before we jump to something else.
Yearwood said the withdrawal came after conversations with families, staff, and stakeholders. He says, quote, while the intent was to strengthen student learning conditions and improve operational efficiency, it is clear that more analysis and deeper engagement are necessary before moving forward.
We're night owls, and so mornings are hard for our family.
We also caught up with Uselis Monday morning before Yearwood announced the proposal is off. Her biggest concern with changing start times are busing schedules and how long kids would have to stay at after-school programs.
If school ends at 1:50 and the majority of parents don't get off work until 5, kids are going to be at school from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's an insane day for anybody, much less a 5-year-old.
But for now, her family will get to keep their alarms set the way they are. In Louisville, Alexandra Goldberg, WHAS11, on your side.
Well, Yearwood says in the coming months, the district will look at other options to support strong instructional outcomes and protect a healthy work-life balance for school-based employees. He adds the next phase will include expanded feedback opportunities from the community.
More local news we're following here at 5 on this Monday. An Oldham County man is in jail tonight, indicted for alleged sex crimes committed in July of this year. 43-year-old Ronald Bertucci is facing 2 sex abuse charges, both of them in the 3rd degree. According to the indictment, the alleged crimes took place during the summer of this year. The victim's age has been listed as between 16 and 17 years old. Details surrounding his arrest are not yet available. Bertucci was taken into custody last week on November 18th.
Today, the woman police say admitted to shooting and killing a man in the Russell neighborhood appeared in court. She's pleaded not guilty and is being held on a $250,000 bond. Authorities say the shooting happened at a house off Cedar Street Friday night. Police believe 25-year-old Maria Swan shot and killed 27-year-old Isaiah Washington inside his Russell neighborhood home. According to court documents, Swan admitted to the shooting. She's charged with murder and domestic violence and will be back in court December 4th.
We have an update to a story we first brought you here on WHAS 11 News. The man charged in a deed fraud scheme appeared in court today for allegedly stealing from an 89-year-old woman. Russell Cheatham is accused of stealing Dorothy Tarpin's home and claiming she was dead. Tarping owned her home in Parkland neighborhood for 50 years, but was living in a nursing home when she learned of the scam. Cheatham allegedly forged a quitclaim deed for the house, which allows family or friends to quickly take ownership of somebody's home. He's also charged with burglary for allegedly taking jewelry, appliances, and guns from the woman's home. He pleaded not guilty and waived his case to a grand jury this morning.
We are learning more after Metro police officers shot and killed a man in the Southside neighborhood. Now, LMPD says just before 10 Saturday night, they got a call to East Southland Boulevard about a robbery at gunpoint. There, police saw a man who looked like the suspect, so LMPD says he ran from officers and pulled out a handgun. Officers then shot that man, who died at the scene. Deputy Chief Ryan Bates said he's thankful for the officers' quick response.
Calls for service like this remind us of the dangers officers face every day. I am extremely grateful that no officers or innocent bystanders were injured during this rapidly unfolding situation.
And per LMPD policy, body camera footage will be released within 10 business days.
We had heavy fog around Kentuckiana this morning, and quite the mix of weather as we're going into Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we've had that fog around for several days, Mallory. Last night, I was using the flashlight in the yard to try to see where the dogs were, and I could not find them. It was so foggy.
Took a while to burn off this morning, too.
Yes. We had that dense fog advisory through 11 o'clock this morning. Thankfully, visibility did improve from that point onward. And we are looking at dry skies and good visibility for anybody hitting the roads at this hour, as we're seeing from our Trimark cameras around the Louisville metro area and also I-65 down in E-Town as well. A mostly cloudy day out there. Temperatures near climate normals in the 50s for much of our area. Currently sitting at 56 degrees at Louisville International and at Bowman Field. 55 in E-Town and Fort Knox. 57 currently in Bardstown. Our satellite and radar here, you can tell what is to come. We do have some rain that's trying to move into western Kentucky, south central Kentucky as well. That moisture will continue to stream our direction through this evening, so you might get a spotty light shower, some sprinkles through this evening. Better chance of rain, however, arrives tonight. That's as we get a lot more moisture that will be streaming in here from our south and southwest. So for our hometown forecast tonight, temperatures will not be all too chilly. In fact, they're not going to budge much from where they are now. Expect lows in the upper 40s to low to mid 50s with, yes, showers likely. That will take us into tomorrow morning before rain becomes a lot spottier by tomorrow afternoon and evening. For your Tuesday, highs will be in the upper 50s and lower 60s. Once that system rolls out of here, we do have another front that's going to swing through on Wednesday, and that will really drop our temperatures for the Thanksgiving holiday. We'll talk much more about that coming up in our 7-day forecast.
Mallory, thank you. More of our top stories at 5. If a disaster happens at Louisville's airport, the closest responders arrive from a fire station position right in the middle of the airfield.
They jumped into action November 4th as air traffic control reported an engine fire before Flight 2976 crash landed.
WHAS11's Conroy DeLuche and senior photojournalist Alyssa Newton are talking with the chief who leads the airport's department about how they train for this response. Conroy?
Doug, Connie, just 2 weeks before the UPS cargo plane crash, the airport held a full-scale aircraft disaster drill. So what happened on November 4th is something the department does actively train for. This was a response to a plane engine fire reported by air traffic control, and it escalated as crews prepared to roll out of the fire station. Heavy smoke was already blowing from the airport south where that plane crashed. Chief Josh Grimes says the battalion chief at the station made a quick decision that helped crews get to grade lane even faster.
Because we have the entire Worldport facility that is obscuring the view, is there aircraft debris and fence down that would prohibit us from being able to get out off the airport. So that's why they split their response. Their timing, they actually met at the intersection as they were arriving on scene.
And Chief Grimes says their fire trucks, the Air National Guard, and 2 Louisville firehouses on grade lane were the first that he saw respond to that massive scene. Grimes says they arrived in less than 6 minutes from the jump, and he remained on scene for the next 11 days. Grade lane remains closed to the public, and many businesses in the area still don't have access. With senior photojournalist Alyssa Newton, Conroy DeLuche, WHAS11 on your side.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that, Conroy. And download our mobile app or visit our website, WHAS11.com, to stay up to date on our latest coverage of the UPS plane crash.
New tonight, federal judge Cameron McGowan Curry finding the Trump administration's appointment of prosecutor Lindsay Halligan was illegal.
As ABC's Karen Travers reports, this means the cases Halligan was prosecuting against former FBI Director James Comey and New York State Attorney General Letitia James are now dismissed.
Today, the criminal cases against former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James have been thrown out by a federal judge in Virginia. Their attorneys had argued that Lindsay Halligan, the prosecutor President Trump handpicked for the job, was illegally appointed. Justice Department lawyers said that the Attorney General has the authority to make successive interim picks. But today, federal judge Cameron McGowan-Curie called Halligan's appointment invalid and the indictments of James and Comey unlawful exercises of executive power. She said Halligan had no lawful authority to present the indictments. President Trump chose Halligan, his former personal lawyer with an insurance background with no experience as a prosecutor, to replace a career prosecutor he had previously appointed who had refused to charge Comey. Comey pleaded not guilty to making a false statement and obstructing Congress.
I know that Donald Trump will probably come after me again, and my attitude's going to be the same. I'm innocent. I am not afraid.
In court last week, Comey's lawyers called the case vindictive, pointing to Trump's social media post demanding prosecution of his political enemies, including Comey and James, writing, "We can't delay any longer." If this is not a direction to prosecute, Comey's lawyer argued, I'd really be at a loss to say what is. Last year, the New York Attorney General won a multi-million-dollar judgment against the president and his organization in a civil lawsuit, alleging he defrauded banks by overstating the value of his real estate holdings on financial statements. James pleaded not guilty to charges that she committed mortgage fraud. In a statement, James said she's heartened by today's victory and remains fearless in the face of these baseless claims.
Now, the White House said in a statement that the facts of the indictments against Comey and James have not changed. According to a spokesperson, this will not be the final word on the matter.
Right now, the Department of Defense is investigating Senator Mark Kelly. He and 5 other Democratic lawmakers with military backgrounds recently posted a video telling U.S. service members they have a duty to disobey illegal orders. As a result, President Donald Trump has been pushing for these lawmakers to face consequences. The administration called their comments, quote, seditious and, quote, treason. The Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says the investigation stems from Kelly's comments in the video. Kelly has not issued a statement yet in response to the investigation.
Still to come at 5, we are talking with Norton Healthcare about a new strain of the flu. What you need to know.
But first, holiday travel is underway. This week is expected to be some of the busiest travel in 15 years. We've got some ideas for you to avoid potential travel headaches.
And here's a check of today's Kentucky Lottery jackpots. Mega Millions, $70 million. Powerball, $654 million.
The Kentucky Lottery, funding education for over 1 million Kentucky students.